going to react to an interview with Lucifer. And the video says, interview with Lucifer. Warning, offensive content. I know that offensive content is subjective, so I choose not to be offended. I understand that this is probably something that is just pure creativity, and I am excited to watch. What does the devil gotta say? This is gonna be interesting. Let's see how this goes. And let me get a sip of water because it's probably gonna get hot. Here we go.
Whew. Whoa. Lucifer in the flesh. Do you know how many journalists would kill? Wait, you probably do. First, I want to say thank you to agreeing to this interview because I know you are a very, very busy person.
Yes. I usually like to fly under the radar. But I figured, since I'm already on the campaign trail, why not?
Okay.
Lucifer ugly.
First, let's talk about your reign. Now, you've had a fairly long one. What would you attribute to your success and popularity?
Oh, that's easy. Every generation is the same. I appeal to their lust and ego. I offer all the sex, wealth, and fame a person could want. Do as thou wilt has been my campaign slogan from the start. And my campaign platform hasn't changed either. I run on the same 3 issues every generation. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and pride of life.
Okay.
He's being interviewed about his success story. And do as thou wilt, I think that's a satanic quote.
Okay. When you say lust of the flesh, what exactly do you mean?
Come on now. What do I mean? Isn't it obvious? I just use humans' own innate physical desires against them. And since sexual desire seems to be the most powerful, I usually run with that. Now, I didn't create sex, but I must say I've done a superb job at perverting it. Take pornography, for example. Well, you should know a lot about this one, Ivan. Weren't you addicted to porn?
This interview is about you, not about me. Can we get back on subject?
Now,
This interview's about
where
you.
was I? Oh, yeah. What I do is gradually get someone addicted to porn. And once lust has had its full work and he and she can no longer restrain themselves, they usually look to act out their fantasies on someone. And sometimes that someone is a child. Now,
Terrible.
my plan plays out perfectly. That abused child will eventually turn to a life of promiscuity and perversion themselves, allowing me to continue my vicious cycle. And here's the kicker. Many of those abused girls end up right in the porn industry. Now, how's that for irony?
The second thing you had mentioned, I believe,
That's
you said
crazy.
lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. Can you elaborate?
Humans are never satisfied. You always crave more. Bigger house, bigger car, more money, more power. The list goes on and on. I just take their natural ambitious desire, pervert it, and use it against them for their own destruction. My plan is to allow them to never be content. As long as I can keep them craving what others have, I can depend on them to argue, fight, even kill to get it. Humans are so easily tricked into jealousy. And you know what they say. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave.
Yes, I have heard that before. The last thing you had mentioned
That guy's
was,
voice.
I believe, pride of life. Now, how does this fit into your campaign platform?
Humans are always on a quest for knowledge. I tricked the first humans to seek carnal knowledge over godly wisdom, and it's worked like a charm every generation since. With more knowledge comes more pride, and you know pride is my specialty. And since humans don't like to keep God in their wisdom, I'm able to seduce them with all types of things to help puff up their ego. Lately, fame has been my biggest seller. Who doesn't like attention and feeling more important than the next person? Once I make them famous, I can really use them to promote my agenda. With their help, I've convinced half of the world to not only accept sin, but to celebrate it.
My
Do
goodness.
you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign to date?
No, what?
Well, my gay pride campaign, of course. Not only do I get the chance to promote your own self-destruction, I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it. Love is love, right?
Bro, they're going deep on this.
My plan not only prevents you worthless humans from reproducing, it distorts the gender roles and allows me to bring all types of chaos and confusion upon your pathetic societies. It's been so successful, I've got men convinced they're women, and women convinced they're men, and some convinced they're no gender at all. And I've got 2 more Pride Initiative campaigns I'd like to introduce in the near future.
Really? I'm guessing you probably want me to ask you what they are, right?
Well, first, it's abortion pride.
Ooh,
now, I think we
that's
can pull
great.
this off. Society is definitely ready for it. I've enlisted to help a Planned Parenthood to work with marketing and promotions. Then all we'll have to do is silence the so-called abolitionists and pro-lifers. Because
Let me pause there real quick. That is crazy that he said that. I don't know at when they filmed this, but I saw a video recently, or someone reacted to a music video where it's like an abortion, like kind of like celebrating abortion or an abortion national anthem or something. Man, maybe this dude's an Illuminati or something. He knows something. That's crazy.
the rest of the church doesn't seem to care. And second is pedophilia pride. Now, society might not be ready for this one just yet, so we'll hold off. I need to desensitize them a little more before we introduce it.
Okay. Let's change gears for
I hope that does not ever happen. What in the world? If that actually happens, this dude's a freaking prophet.
a minute and talk about policy. Some may consider your policies destructive, dangerous even. What would be your response to that? What would you say to your detractors?
All of my policies are aimed to do one of three things: either steal, kill, or destroy. And if it's not doing one or all three of those things, then it's not in my agenda, and I'm not promoting it.
Okay. I'm happy you said that. It seems as if you promote your agenda differently to different ethnicities. If so, why?
Of course, I'd be a fool not to. Take black people, for instance. As a people, they're super spiritual, so I can't really convince them that there is no God. What I have been able to do as of late is convince them that he's not the God of the Bible. Now, I've been real successful at promoting black consciousness and Islam in their communities.
I'm so happy you mentioned black people. It seems as if we've been at the very top of your agenda for quite some time. Why is that?
A few reasons. Black people help me reach the masses. Now, as you know, I was over music in heaven. My beats were so dope, I got over a third of the angels to follow me.
He said my beats were
And
so
once I got
dope.
here to the earth, I needed artists and entertainers to help me promote my message here. Who better than black people? Black people possess all the natural rhythm and music ability that I need. And it's easy for me to influence them with money since so many of them grew up without it. Another reason I target black people is because they're strong mentally and physically. If black men were to ever find their identity in Christ, I'd be in trouble. So I try my best to destroy the black family structure and keep black men away from his family and the church. Drugs and incarceration are a couple of my more popular means. Without the head of the household present, I can become the head and influence the children without too much resistance.
So you mean to tell me that your policies are intentionally racist against black people?
Racist? This has got to be the best law I've ever come up with. Now, I can't believe that humans still believe they're different races. But to answer your question, yes. It has always been my policy to target and isolate a group of people. And out of all my strategies, this skin color thing has worked the best. I definitely want to keep white people and black people separated. As long as I can keep black people bitter and white people offended, I'm good. Hopefully black people will never forgive. That way I can continue to use them.
Okay.
He's
What
spitting
my question is,
facts.
what role, if any, does your administration play in this black on black crime epidemic?
Well, as great as my administration is, we can't take all the credit for this. Black people help us tremendously. By aborting so many of their babies, they allow us to bring death to their communities. As the Bible says, they sow the wind and reap a whirlwind.
When implementing all of these policies, do you ever face any resistance or pushback? And if so, from who?
One group in particular try to oppose every policy I try to implement. I would be so much further along in my agenda if it wasn't for them.
Really? So what group is that?
Those pesky, born-again Jesus followers. They're a real thorn in my side. Every generation, they come together and try to dismantle one of my signature policies. Now, I've convinced half of the world that Jesus didn't exist and the other half that he wasn't divine. But I can't seem to convince them. They seem hell-bent on telling everybody about him and spreading his message. And some of them believe he's coming to unseat me in this generation. Crazy, huh? I'll tell you, those idiots are really messing with my legacy.
So, Lucifer, how does that make you feel when us idiots say that Jesus possibly could be coming back in this generation to unseat you?
Y'all been saying that for centuries. I just use it as motivation to get as much of my agenda pushed through and deceive as many people as possible before he returns. I think I've done pretty well. My record speaks for itself. About 150,000 people die each day, and most of them don't know Jesus.
150,000 people. Whew. Well, you know what? This concludes our interview. I want to say thank you for an open, honest, pretty frank discussion with me. Is there any last words you would like to leave with our viewing audience?
Yes. I'd like to take this moment and give a special thank you to two groups of people. First, I want to say thank you to all my followers. You are the hands and feet of my administration, and we could do nothing without you. Keep up the good work spreading my message.
Thank God.
And second, I'd like to say thank you to the divided church. I love the way you argue and use your passions to fight amongst each other. Keep up the good work. There's really no rush to tell people about Jesus. You all have plenty of time.
Man, that was deep. That was deep. And that was very creative. And I mean, I like how it was entertaining because it holds your attention and it causes you to have to listen and, you know, hear the realities of how the world really is and what's happening and Satan's influence. Because we kind of, if you're like a person who's into politics, you're willing to debate with people about your views or your religious views, and it's like one man versus the other man. But people don't believe that this world is influenced by powers that are dark powers, demonic powers, you know. We just think that it's a matter of a battle of ideas and opinions and policies and how the government is ran and just different things of that nature, which is true, but that's not the only battle, you know. For the Bible says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and spiritual wickedness in the heavenly places. And there's a spiritual war happening. And it's not a battle between flesh and blood. So when we talk about a race war, it's all about race. It's all about race. It says it's not a battle of flesh and blood. Or, you know, it's a spiritual war. And but I think that's a hard thing for people to believe, you know, because I grew up with a lot of white friends, black friends, white friends, Hispanic friends. I didn't recognize the idea that racism, you know, people thought about racism until someone introduced it to me when I was in school. And, you know, we had a teacher who taught us about history and like black history and different things. And I'm not saying that there was no such thing as black slaves, or that there wasn't like a race war. But what I am saying is this is the war that people have amongst themselves. It could be solved if people had love for each other. But the problem is you can't legislate love. You can't make love a law, like you have to love your neighbor as yourself. You can't legislate that. That's something that has to happen in the home. And so, if you grow up in a family who hates other races, and then your parents teach you to hate other people because of their color, that's a problem in the home. Or, because it's hard for me to believe that people genuinely hate other people's skin color unless that's something that they were taught. It's not like it's not just in your genetics to just hate someone of another race. It's just not. And hey, man, those are a few of my thoughts on this. This is my immediate reaction to this video. And I also liked how he was saying that, he uses music and uses black people to, to promote his agenda. And, because hip hop and, what do they call it? Hip hop culture. It's true. Promoting drugs and sex and promiscuity and degeneracy and all these different things. Now, I'm not judging people who are into those type of things. What I am saying is it makes it rough. It makes it difficult to have a successful marriage if you're doing these type of things. Drugs and promiscuity and all these different things. Purity is not a cool thing anymore today. Purity, it's almost like it's illegal to be pure. Like if you're a person who says that you're a virgin, people will look at you crazy. They'll look at you like you're absolutely insane. Like you're supposed to lose your virginity. What's wrong with you? And so, it's these problems aren't easy to solve. It's not completely black and white on how you solve the problem. There's a lot of problems in the world, but we have to start simple. And so if you're watching this video and you're like, look, I want to be someone who impacts this world. I want to solve some of these issues, racial issues, political issues, gender identity issues, all these different things. You want to help people. I'd say that the best place to start is to start by, not to sound beta, but to say, dude, you got to start with love. You genuinely do. Meaning, stop judging people who are not like you. You see somebody who struggles with gender identity, don't judge them. I don't care if they're transgender, what they are, gay, homosexual. You don't have to judge them if you're a straight male or a straight woman. Because, people who are straight tend to look at people who are gay like they're crazy. You're insane. What's wrong with you? But they tend to forget their own flaws. Like, oh man, I got flaws too. It might not be that flaw, but I have my own flaws. Maybe I'm addicted to smoking weed. So, anyways, not judging people is a great place to start. It doesn't solve all the issues, but it's a great place to start. Now, there's another point that he made where, there's other points that he made on there that I wouldn't even want to talk about. They said warning, offensive content in here. So some of the other stuff they was talking about, it's kind of, yeah. But he was spitting facts, and I can see how this video could make people uncomfortable. I can. I saw someone else react to this video. I thought this was a brand new video, but let me double check and see here. When was this video created? This is on this channel, wherever I'm watching this from. It says 5 years ago, as of today. I thought this was a brand new video. So a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with today, when he said abortion pride, it's starting to happen. I didn't hear about that 5 years ago. So this is a mind-blowing video. This was very creative. And you know, this might give me some ideas on some of my content. You know, a little bit more theatrics and not just talking to a camera like I am now, but to, you know, use some creativity. You know, but anyways, that's my immediate reaction to this video. I hope you enjoy. Hit the like button, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Does this offend you? You know, is he spitting facts? How does this make you feel? Although it's entertaining, it was also pretty real at the same time. And yeah, so God bless. Comment, tell me your thoughts. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. All right, thank you for watching this channel. God bless. Watch the next video.